Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. Want to bring you a pretty thorough, important update on Litecoin. We're going to dig into this. We're going to spend a little bit of time on it today. Some very important things that I want to show you. So I appreciate you being here with me. Happy Sunday. And guys, if you didn't see my video last night, it came out at about midnight. One of my alarms was triggered to the upside there. We're going to dig into all that, but I went into a little bit more detail. We were in the 4-hour chart there, so go ahead and check that one out if you want to see in closer. We're going to start here on the 4-hour chart, but I'm not going to dig into the 4-hour chart as much as I did last night. It's just a quick little 4-minute video. Today we're going to look a little bit more at the 1-day chart is what I'm really going to focus on. So guys, we're going to dig into this. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you appreciate what we do here. I appreciate each and every one of you being here with me. So we're going to get into this. Guys, what I wanted to show you here, and this is important. Alright, we had a beautiful just trend change. So what you can see here are supply and demand, guys. As we were making lower highs here and lower lows, this supply and demand shifted when we had this inverse head and shoulders that basically played out right there. Then we came back down, consolidated, guys, and we were forming this lower trend line. This yellow trend line is our intermediate term bullish uptrend, which we're in right now. That's anywhere from 3 to 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. Some guys will let it go out almost to a year, and then they'll say a long-term bull market will start, but textbook says 3 to 6 months is that intermediate term, so pay close attention to that. But we have been in this uptrend. What we're making is higher highs and higher lows there, and that's exactly what you want to see. And guys, what you saw here, look, high, high, higher highs, higher highs, higher high. Here's a higher high. So what we're trying to do now is get our higher low, which I do believe got put in last night, and now we're going to see if we can have that higher high. And that higher high would take us, guys, most likely, and remember this is on the 4-hour chart. I'm just trying to zoom out and look at the patterns for us. So that would have a potential of taking us, guys, every bit to about 122, that next leg up, somewhere right in there, 122, even up into that 131 area, which could be massive gains. Right now we're at $93.11, and we're up 7.46%, so that's looking good. Now, what I want to show you next, and I'll show you my new targets and my alarms that I have up right now. So, guys, this is the trend line that I was watching. Alright, remember I told you I was in cash. I got stopped out at around 95 or I think $95 or $96, somewhere in there. And then I rebought at 85, got some at 86, and I think a few at 84 it was. So it was right on here, guys. This is where I bought them. So we came up, then we came back down, and it was in this area because I saw this trend line holding, and we ended up getting a nice bounce off that. You can see this bullish engulfing candle there, and we closed back up above our 20 EMA and our 50 moving average. So right now I'm currently in a position, guys, from around, we'll say on average around that $85, $86, and right now I'm just letting it ride again. I want to see what can happen. I'm being very patient, guys. I want to see if we can get that next leg up, because it looks like the trend is starting to change here on the 4 hours. What you're seeing, guys, you see from this point we're having those higher highs and higher lows. This is a trend all of itself. This is a short-term bullish uptrend, and what we're doing, we're trying to identify the trends as soon as possible. That's what guys are paid the big money for who are on Wall Street. They can identify that short-term trend when it changes, the intermediate term trend, and the long-term trend. So guys, what it's looking like, we had this short-term or micro downtrend, and now we're changing. We had that higher high, or I'm sorry, a lower high there, but we had a higher low down in this area. Then we had a higher high. We're looking for another higher low before we have another higher high, and that's why I have a target up here or an alarm set at 98.39, and I believe that could take us up to around $100 from where we're at now, that next higher high, or even up to around that $104 if this does play out the way that I'm looking at it. And guys, if we do find that support off this 20 and that 50, that would be a beautiful spot right there, another spot to go long, because that would be your higher low. Then you'd be waiting for that upside there. Alright, so now on the downside though, and that's why I play these trend lines, guys, they're so important. Now if this would have been a candle like this and it closed below that trend line, then most likely, guys, we're going to come down to this 100 or this 200 and back test those. But we stayed within this trend line, and that's what I'm going to continue to pay attention to. I'll be out of the position that I'm in. Basically, if this trend line we start having closes below that, then I say, okay, I'm out. I'm going to wait and cash again, wait for a good spot to try to go long again. And that's how the game's played, guys, just in terms of buying buying and selling these coins so you don't have to dip into your bank account, try to make coins, even if it's 1 or 2 at a time. That's 1 Litecoin, guys. That's 2 Litecoins. That could be worth $1,000 down the road easily. And that's the factor that I'm putting in my head, like, okay, if I can even trade and make, you know, 1 or 2 Litecoins, that's a big deal. That could really be a big deal down the road, at least to a guy like me. I play small position, so it is what it is. But you know, guys, now what we're going to do, and also the volume was decreasing a ton, and then we had a nice little increase in volume on this bullish engulfing candle off that trend line through these moving averages. So now we're just going to have to see if this is that little throwback here. We'll find our higher low. Remember, this hasn't closed yet on the 4 hours. Then we'll see if we get a move to the upside. Next, what I want to show you here, though, is on the 1-day chart. Show you what we're getting into. So that was just quick, guys, on the 4-hour chart there. Now, what we're seeing, and I'm going to get rid of this trend line here, even though I'll show you, even on the 1 day, we got that beautiful bounce right there. But that trend line was drawn on the 4 hour, so it could probably get a little squirrely on us. But what you're seeing here, guys, again, is a bullish engulfing candle, right? So here is a bullish engulfing candle. Do you see how this short-term downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, we came into that bullish engulfing candle that got us right over top of this 20 EMA, which was beautiful. Then, guys, we set our higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Let's see if that higher high is coming next, and that's what I'm excited about, and that's why I have an alarm right here, guys. Now, my downside alarm is at 89.97. If we start crossing down through there, where you can see this area of support that I was looking at, then I might say, hey, you know what, I'll let my stop loss trigger there, I'll take my profit, and we'll continue to move on, or I'll break even, guys. Let's see, at around 84.50, so that would be breaking even if we did break through there, for me at least, in my current little trading position that I'm in right now, guys. But right now I'm anticipating, it's all going to depend on the close today. Remember, we're not at the close, but right now we basically have a shaven bottom Maribozu candle, or a bullish belt hold line candle that's taking place right here. Don't have much of a wick on the bottom. It's just been bullish all the way pressing up. We made it all the way up to 95.76, and now, guys, we're getting some profit taking place around that 92.94 right now. So we're just going to have to watch this, though. But this is, I'm anticipating this to be our higher low. Here was our higher low here. Here's our higher high, or even back to here, guys. Higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. And like I said, our next one we would target up to around this 120, I believe it is. Guys, our next target, we could go to 110. And then it would be up here around that 125 is what I'm going to be looking at. But this is the trend that you want to pay attention to, guys. We're trying to turn this into a basically a long-term bullish uptrend. That's the goal here. But we're still up above this white trend line that I have, where we basically have went parabolic off this lower line. We're up above the 200-day moving average, up above the 100-day moving average. We had a golden cross. We're up above our 20 EMA. We're up above our 50 EMA. And our support, I would look down at around that 84.56, around that 20 EMA for support, where my green line is, guys. That's what I would look for. Then I'd look at this 50 moving average, which is going to be around 79, then ultimately this trend line to see if we get another bounce off it. And this is a decent trend line right now, guys, in white, just so you know. What I'm going to do, I'm going to throw the angle on it, and we're going to take a look at the angle of this trend line. And guys, it's just going to be rough here. It's a rough one. So that's about a 35. Let me try to get that a little better, guys. I apologize. So anywhere from like 35 to 40, we'll put it about right there. So guys, that's 36% there. So this is a strong trend line, just so you know. Obviously, the more shallow they are, like this yellow one here, as we're going to continue to extend it out and go, this is the ultimate trend line for me. That's going to determine if we're in a bullish uptrend still. But whenever they're more shallow, like this one down here that's only 12%, it's going to be viewed as even stronger than those steep ones. Whenever they get real steep, up above like 50 and 60%, they can break a lot on you. But now this one at 36, this too should almost be viewed as a trend line for a while we're going to get a bounce off of. But remember, you always want confirmation. You want big volume off that too, guys, to tell you the story. All right, next we're going to look at some indicators and oscillators here. I want to go to our stock RSI first. And guys, if you like these Litecoin videos and you like that I go more in depth like this and look at the 1 day and the 4 hour and all that, please let me know down low. Alright guys, so on the stock, we have crossed over there. We are down now around 35.48, so that's definitely a spot we could get a bounce from. You know, obviously on the stock we can get very low and over overextended to the downside as well as to the upside, but we're in a little bit more, you know, neutral territory heading down right now, so we definitely have room for another run up, I guess is the point that I'm saying. That we're not up around 80 and 80 or 80 and 90 where there's not a lot of room to make a higher high. We have room on the stock RSI to make a higher high, so that's a good thing. Next thing I want to look at is our MACD. And with our MACD, guys, it looked like we were about to get a bearish cross, and then we got a little bounce off that. And remember, we talked about this in the last video, that these MACDs and these moving averages, it can look like you're about to move to the downside there because it's reading this fall here, guys, and then you don't actually get that cross. You can get a bounce and you can move back up. Just so you know, that can take place, just like right over here where how we were moving, we looked like we were going to cross down and then we bounce back up. So that's always a possibility. Histogram was starting to tick to the negative as well. It was reading this. So guys, MACD, I'm not putting a huge emphasis on it right now. It's not telling me a ton about what's going on because we're not having any crosses, anything like that. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Histogram was ticking to the negative. It's a lagging indicator. Hasn't got a bearish cross yet, so we're going to see if we can just continue to push up from that area, guys. That's what we're looking at there. Let me get this off. And then next one we're going to look at is our RSI, Relative Strength Index. Just see what's cooking for Litecoin here. So yet again, we would put a trend line right up here. Guys, so that's going to be the ceiling. We're going to have to see what happens with that. We are moving to the upside right now. It's looking like we're having higher lows there, and we're at 60, so there's still more room to the upside that we could have to set that higher high, guys. So that's what I'm saying. You know, these RSIs on crypto can get very overextended. In a traditional market, 70 or over is overbought, and here it can get up into the 90s. So from 60, we definitely could hit that $120 mark before the RSI gets too overextended to where people will for sure be taking profits. So that's what I'm looking for, guys, to have a position to hold for this next higher high when it comes. And remember, always set those stop losses as well, though, in case you're wrong and you say, all right, I'm wrong, and that is what it is. You know what I mean? And then you cut your losses there, you move on to the next trade. It's about cutting your losses as soon as you figure out it's a bad trade or it goes against you, and letting your winners run. Like right now, guys, I could take a profit, but I'm not. I'm trying to let my trade now that I'm in run so we can accumulate more Litecoin. That's the goal. You want to accumulate more Litecoin, guys, especially for the long term. I'm telling you, I really believe in Litecoin. I think this is a coin that down the road definitely could be 4 digits. And that's just me. I'm not your financial advisor, but I really do believe that. But we're going to have to see where the close is today. Maybe I'll get another video out today, guys, like when it closes around 8 o'clock, just to see if we do keep this bullish engulfing candle of this candle here, and if this is the actual trend change. And we're looking, you know, for these higher highs, higher high, higher high, higher high. Here's our higher lows, and we're going to see if we end up getting a higher high. So just remember those upside targets, guys. Remember the downside targets. I appreciate being here with you on a Sunday. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.